let's start with that theme. It's such a fun film to do. What would you say were the hindering factors? Obviously, you have to do a lot of physical activity, but the fun is the first thing I can think of.
Yeah, it was a massive fun because a lot of us knew each other before, and some of us were good friends. Some of us became fast friends. So it was a real pleasure to go to work every day. But the hindering factors, what were the hard things? A few late night shoots, but you're used to that when you make movies, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think a lot of the faith was like handed over to Burr, our director, and we sort of like it was that took a lot of weight off us because we sort of trusted in him to guide us in the best possible way through the tone of the movie. So in a sense, we could sort of revel in it and enjoy the whole world that was set up. It was fun that way,
And the tone's very well chosen. I think that would have been also a challenge because it couldn't have been too goofy or spoofy. You had to feel serious about.
And that's very him.
Invasion.
That's Burr, though.
Yeah.
That was his decision. So and quite rightly so. It's without winking at the camera that there is a zombie. It's playing the reality. I think is so important.
And then what's ridiculous is the circumstances, not so much like how we play it.
Yeah, no, it's true. Which were the most outrageous zombies to see? I mean, it's always fun, from a non-zombie point of view to watch zombies on a set, I guess.
I mean, Mrs. Featherstone, Dolly, who played Miss Featherstone, she had a pretty intense
hers is pretty gross.
Prosthetic on. I mean, she was in it there for hours. But we had a really amazing prosthetics guy.
It wasn't CGI. It was really mainly done.
He did Meryl Streep on The Iron Lady, and that her full transformation. So he was really great, and it was interesting to see how he kind of did the zombies because there were like four stages of zombie corrosion, or what do you call it, infection. So it was interesting to see how he developed those.
How do you feel that the zombie themes and Pride and Prejudice mix so well in this story? Before you read the novel, did you think that it would just not work?
I wasn't sure. I mean. I thought it must have worked in some way because it was on the New York Times bestseller list. So some people must be buying the book and enjoying it for some sort of reason. But then, you obviously have your doubts. But the fact that David O. Russell had adapted it from a book, and Natalie Portman was going to play the part for a long time before she then became a producer and handed it on to Lily. You just knew there must be something to it. And when we read it was just a lot of fun, wasn't it? Really, really good fun.
Yeah, and for those who do see the title Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, one's first reaction is what? Because it doesn't seem the most enticing. It sort of feels like some kind of B movie. But it's so much more than that. And it's kind of great that you sort of bring it up because, if we hadn't have heard of the book beforehand or the sort of pedigree that was involved before, you might have just sort of dismissed it before even reading it, and that's sort of the main thing. Thank God we didn't, because it was so much more than you could ever expect. It was really something. It was a really great script, and I think Burr's done a phenomenal job bringing it to life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I really had a great time. I mean, I think also it's a testament to Jane Austen how the structure of her stories kind of adapt to any modern story in a way. It's like you can just put it there. So did you feel that it was really that in this one?
Well, I think it's a testament to the strength of her writing that it can sort of come up in many different forms. I mean, whether it be Bridget Jones's Diary, which is based on Pride and Prejudice, or whether it's Pride and Prejudice with zombies. I think it's just testament to how brilliant her writing is and how great her character, how brilliantly she drew her characters. And I just from a viewer's point of view, just really enjoy seeing how these great characters that she wrote, how they sort of survive and exist and adapt in this very strange world that we've created.
And her voice is never lost. Like it sort of resonates throughout the whole story. It's like very much it is Pride and Prejudice. Yeah. It's the zombies just work in conjunction with the story. They sort of help to heighten certain themes, if anything. And I think that's incredibly flattering probably for her, to sort of see that her voice is still so prevalent in today's world, society. It's amazing.
Yeah,
especially. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, and hopefully she'd like the fact that that you were potentially bringing a kind of a new young audience that wouldn't necessarily sit down and watch a Pride and Prejudice movie, but bringing that them to sort of one of these great kind of classics. Because I know when I was a teenager, I wouldn't have necessarily have gone to see Pride and Prejudice in the cinema, but I definitely would have gone to see Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So it's kind of it'd be really cool if we sort of introduced sort of a younger audience to her work as well.
Yeah, and I think Jane Austen would be proud to see those kick-ass girls, being even more feminist.
Exactly.
She was, as you said, she was a leading feminist and she was a forward thinker of her time. So I think she'd be into it, 100%.
I think she'd love that. Jack, you said interestingly that it's, for any English actor, it's a rite of passage to play a character from a Jane Austen novel. For you guys, was it always the Bingleys and Wickhams, or did you ever dream of, playing Mr. Darcy?
I played Mr. Darcy. One of my first ever plays. It was around a girls' school around the corner from my house. I played Mr. Darcy when I was 13 or 14. But I think in the film version, I'd be at least 10 years older or 8 years older to play him.
Funny that, isn't it? Yeah, I think I was always maybe rather more intrigued into the baddies per se. I don't know what, or trying to bring some kind of humanity. There was something in the song. It is. It's kind of nice, but I did an Austen thing years ago about actual Jane Austen herself.
Did you really? What's it called?
Yeah, Miss Austen Regrets.
Miss Austen Regrets.
Yeah, it's just growing up in England and at school. I mean, we were taught Pride and Prejudice at school. It was on the curriculum, so it's it's amazing. You find yourself, however many years later, I'm not going to say because I give away how old I am. But it
always
was
young.
Exactly. I mean, all of 22. Yeah, exactly. A few years ago. But it's fun that it's so important, and it's sort of nice because those characters stay within you. So, and 10 years hence and 20 years hence, hope maybe we'll be doing something else down a similar line. Yeah.
Exactly. It's exciting for young actors such as you making their mark, on the cinema scene, to receive every time, a part that is different from the one you've done before. Do you seek those, or do you just leave it to chance for things that get to you?
It's a bit of both. I think you try and choose different things and different interesting things. And I mean, I think from probably both of us from the very beginning of our careers, I played Boyd George and shaved off my eyebrows when I was 17, and you went and did we're in Broadwalk Empire and played one of the most coolest characters with like a mask over her face and with disfigurement. I think we've both gone for different things.
It's that variety. You want to be able to do. It's a challenge. You would like to challenge yourself. I think that's probably one of the fun things about this job, and and hopefully along the way having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Oscars this year because it's coming up. What were your favorite?
We're both
films?
expecting an Oscar this year.
You are.
We're very honoured for our nominations.
So you should.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
I would. Yeah, I haven't seen enough of the movies that are nominated yet. 'Cause we've been on this press tour and I was just working before, but I'm really excited to see The Revenant. I'm very, very excited to see that. Room looks great.
I think she'll get Best Actress. Leo DiCaprio Best Actor. God, it's thing.
About time.
Alicia Vikander probably will get supporting.
You think she's?
Is you asking like what
No,
our
yeah,
predictions?
absolutely. Who are your favorites? But yeah, I think your predictions are quite right so far.
Yeah.
Very sad Idris isn't nominated. He won the SAG. He just got the SAG.
Exactly.
But he's so
SAGs,
brilliant. He did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm yet to see that film. But isn't there like an interesting fact? Like more people have watched Beasts of No Nation than all the other Oscar contenders put together.
Because of Netflix.
Because of Netflix.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, isn't it? That's
But then the people who aren't voting might not have seen it because it's Academy members. So
yeah,
sad, but he's a phenomenal actor. He'll be nominated many more times, I hope, in the coming years.
Exactly. It's like Leo. We'll wait, but then he'll get it at some point.
Oh, God,
So hopefully you guys will too. Tell us about what's coming up next after the zombies.
So
maybe another zombie. Who knows?
Yeah, no, not another zombie film, but I'm about to start filming something called A Storm in the Stars, which is about the love affair between Percy Shelley and Mary Shelley and their tempestuous love affair, which resulted in her writing Frankenstein. So Elle Fanning's playing Mary Shelley and Belle Powley's playing Claire Claremont. They have a sort of menage. So that's what I'm about to go off and do.
Another twist on a classic.
Yeah, but not so much a
on
twist,
classic,
but
yeah.
it's a sort of like in-depth look at their relationship.
I have a few. I did Ben-Hur last year and a film called The Yellow Birds and Their Finest Hour and a Half. Just a few other ones. I'm taking a bit of them. I just had a baby 10 days ago, so I've got another month off before I have to go and work again.
I can't wait to see Yellow Birds. So. Yellow Birds is a really amazing script. I think it's going to be really cool, that film.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. We'll see.
We'll see.